The Lizzie Borden case and the Villisca Axe murders continue to haunt American history. They remind us that evil does not always announce itself. Sometimes it hides behind familiar faces in quiet towns. Despite advancements in forensic science, some mysteries remain unsolved, not because the truth doesn't exist, but because time has taken it away. And perhaps that is what makes these stories so terrifying. Not the violence itself, but the silence that followed. Over the years, several suspects were investigated. A traveling preacher, a local businessman, even a serial killer who roamed the Midwest. Confessions were made and later recanted. Evidence was mishandled, crime scenes were contaminated by curious townspeople, and crucial details were lost forever. The Villisca house still stands today. Some say it is haunted. Others believe the truth lies buried in forgotten records. But officially, the Villisca Axe murders remain unsolved. 20 years later and over 1,000 miles west, another quiet town would experience unimaginable horror. Villisca, Iowa, was a peaceful farming community where everyone knew each other. On the night of June 9, 1912, the Moore family returned home after a church event. 2 young guests were staying with them overnight. By morning, 8 people were dead. The crime scene stunned even experienced investigators. The killer appeared to have waited inside the house. The weapon was an axe belonging to the family. No clear suspect was ever convicted. Lizzie Borden was arrested and charged with the murders of her father and stepmother. The trial began in 1893 and quickly became a media sensation. Newspapers across the country printed daily updates. Lizzie, a well-dressed, church-going woman, did not fit the public's idea of a murderer. The prosecution argued motive, opportunity, and suspicious behavior. The defense pointed to a lack of physical evidence and unreliable assumptions. After weeks of testimony, the jury reached a verdict. Lizzie Borden was found not guilty. She was legally free, but never truly escaped suspicion. Even today, historians and investigators remain divided. Was Lizzie an innocent woman destroyed by rumor, or did she commit the perfect crime? Shortly after 11 a.m., Lizzie Borden called out to the maid, claiming her father had been killed. Andrew Borden was found lying on a sofa in the sitting room. Earlier that same morning, Abby Borden had also been murdered upstairs. The weapon was believed to be a hatchet or axe-like tool found on the property. The brutality of the crime shocked Fall River. Violence of this nature was almost unheard of in such a respectable home. Suspicion quickly turned toward Lizzie. Her behavior appeared strange to investigators. Her timeline did not fully match witness accounts, and although no blood was found on her clothing, a dress she had recently burned raised serious questions. In 1892, Fall River, Massachusetts, was a growing industrial town. On 2nd Street stood a modest but well-kept home belonging to Andrew Borden, a wealthy but frugal man. He lived there with his wife Abby and his 2 adult daughters, Lizzie and Emma. Andrew Borden was known as strict, controlling, and deeply concerned with money. Though wealthy, he lived simply, refusing modern comforts. This caused tension within the household, especially with Lizzie, who felt trapped in a rigid and unhappy life. On the morning of August 4, 1892, Emma was away visiting friends. Lizzie remained home with her parents and the family maid. By early afternoon, the Borden household would become the center of one of the most famous criminal investigations in American history. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, America was a very different place. Small towns were built on trust, routine, and familiarity. Doors were left unlocked. Neighbors knew one another by name. And yet, beneath this quiet surface, some crimes shattered the illusion of safety forever. Tonight's story explores two of the most chilling and mysterious cases in American history. One became famous through rhyme and rumor. The other remains one of the most disturbing unsolved mass murders ever recorded. These are the stories of Lizzie Borden and the Villisca Axe Murders. Both cases involve axes, both happened in quiet towns, and both left behind more questions than answers.